I'm going to be ranking WoW zones based on how much fun they are to level through. So I've done some dumber WoW tier lists, right? I've done WoW zones I'd visit and avoid in real life. I've done how long you'd survive IRL in WoW zones, but I haven't actually done how much fun zones are to level through. So this one's a bit more normal compared to my normal tier list, but I was like, you know what? I think it would still be fun to do. So here we go. We got very fun, above average, average, below average, and not fun. And I'm going to go through all the zones and rank them based on whether I enjoy questing through them and have fun in them. So here we go. Starting with Elwyn Forest. And I'm going to put Elwyn Forest in the above average, actually, because I'm not a big human Elwyn Forest type of person, but I still always enjoyed when I would level through Elwyn Forest. Like, it's one of the last places I would normally level through because I didn't really make humans that often. But like, I love the fantasy RPG forest vibes, right? It's like you're wandering through this forest and learning about the kobolds and the gnolls, and there's, you know, farmers, and it's very much like a Dungeons and Dragons type of forest, right? And I think that's the vibe they were going with, I would imagine. So I always thought it was fun. There's murlocs, right? So I'd say it's above average, but it was never, you know, I wasn't like, oh boy, Elwyn Forest. I'm sure there are people out there that love Elwyn Forest, but me personally, I was like, this is pretty cool. So I'll give it the above average. Westfall. Now, some people love Westfall, but I always was like kind of average in terms of fun levels. Like, I enjoyed some parts of Westfall. Right, the old Blanchy making the stew, clucking like a chicken. You know, some of the Defias quests here and there, but I never really was like, dude, I love Westfall. It's so much fun. They're like, oh man, I can't wait to get to Westfall. It was kind of just like, I don't know, you know, Westfall's here. That's pretty all right. So I'd probably put Westfall in the average category. Yeah. Red Ridge Mountains. I'm gonna... Dude, call me crazy. I'm gonna put it in the below average. I know some people are going insane. They've already been going insane. They're going even more insane. I've never been a big Red Ridge person. That might tie into the fact that I'm not a big human person with Elwyn Forest and all that stuff as well, right? But it's just like every time I would try to quest there, you just get like sniped by a whelp, or... you know, you're doing your thing and then like some orcs attack you, or even just like some of those quests like fighting the orcs up in the mountains, and there's like, I don't know, it was never that much fun for me. Like, I never really enjoyed the Red Ridge Mountains that much. And so yeah, I mean, I'd always look for other ways to quest besides Red Ridge if I had to go there. But yeah, I'd still do some of Red Ridge. Like, I didn't think it was not fun, but it was definitely below average for me. Duskwood. I would say Duskwood was above average for me. Because I always thought it was fun going into the creepy forest. I like the aesthetic of Duskwood. You had like Stitches walking around, which you would think like, uh-oh, Stitches is gonna attack you. That's not fun. But I always like that kind of creepy vibe of like, uh-oh, he could be right over here. He's right around the corner. He's attacking the town, right? And then I think after doing so many pointless top 10s and things, researching lore of Duskwood and seeing some of these quests, like there's a lot of really interesting quests all over Duskwood. So it's a really interesting place, and it is pretty fun to quest through. So I'd put it in above average. I'm sure some people would have it at the very fun tier up top, but you know, this is a subjective list, and that's just that's what it is. Stranglethorn Vale Classic. Now, that for me is very fun, which there's probably some people they're going to put it in the not fun. I'm not including getting ganked. All right. I guess you could include it if you wanted, but I'm pretending we're just on a PvE server here. Cause I don't like PvP servers, honestly. I'm not good at PvP. I'm bad. Whenever I would try a PvP server, I would just like, I would just get killed and be like, this sucks. Then you get spawn camped by someone like 10 levels higher than you. And you're like, cool. And then I would never really gank anybody. I'd gank somebody if they like were trying to fight me and I was like the same level and I had to fight back. But I would never go out of my way to fight somebody. And I was like, dude, why am I even on a PvP server? So I just was like, nah, PvE for me. Yeah, I always like Stranglethorn. I think that Stranglethorn is such a massive zone as well. Like you have the Booty Bay area with the pirates, and I always enjoyed that. And then there's like the little Naga area, the Gurubashi Arena area. There's all the different like, you know, tigers and the panthers and the raptor quests. And I always like, you know, doing all those. Like even though they're grindy, I always had a lot of fun doing them. And then you have like the Northern Stranglethorn with that little area with the, oh my god, it's like the diseased sick thing. I don't remember what it was. That's actually the one area that I didn't really do that much of, but I remember it was something tied into that. But I always enjoyed like the troll area, like the big troll ruins. You had Zul'Gurub. I honestly really enjoy Stranglethorn, and it changed a little bit in, well, you know what, I'm gonna rank, these are all the classic versions. They have the retail versions here too, so yeah. Dunmorrow, that's another very fun. Love Dunmorrow. I love the aesthetic of Dunmorrow. I always love the beer-basted boar rib quests and, you know, fighting the Yetis or Wendigos. And then, man, just like, I love so much of Dunmorrow. Like, so many fun quests. There's like so many little things, like the plane crashes or the airplanes up top in the fields and stuff like that. I really love Dunmorrow. It's got to be one of my favorite zones, and so obviously it's going to be fun for me to quest through there. Just love Dunmorrow. Loch Modan, however, Loch Modan is like average to me. I don't know. Like Loch Modan's always kind of. I love how Loch Modan looks. I think it's really cool being up in the mountains with the grass and the hills and stuff and the water and the dam. But I don't know, the quests there are just kind of boring. There's like a billion trogs in the south and the east. There's a lot of trogs. There's the like spiders, and it's like you just got to kill a bunch of the things and gather like different meat and stuff, which you would think I would like after just talking about how much fun Stranglethorn is. Like, this guy loves grinding the thing, but I don't know, it doesn't hit the same in Loch Modan. For whatever reason, it really doesn't. And I don't know if that's just like something in my head or like, I don't really like fighting these things, but I like Loch Modan to a certain extent. Like, I like questing there a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm done. I'm bored, I'm moving on. I don't know what it is. So I'm just gonna put it in the average. The wetlands, I'm not gonna lie, wetlands to me is like below average. I've done some quests in the wetlands, but like, I always just get bored, or I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't know. I'm not a big wetlands person. And since I don't quest there that much, I don't have much else to say other than like, I get kind of bored. The Badlands, for some reason, I'm going to put it above average. I don't know why. Okay. There's someone who's be like, oh, he's going to hate the Badlands. I actually enjoy questing in the Badlands. I think, you got the ogres there, and like there's a bunch of the like coyotes and the birds and all these things flying around. And you got the little horde base up in the corner, and then like, I don't know, it feels like one of those things where I should dislike the Badlands, right? I feel like I should. Some of the parts I don't like. I don't really like fighting the rock elementals up in the north. I'm sure there's like some other parts there too. But I mean, there's trogs there as well. But like, I don't even mind fighting those trogs. It's almost like a little like archaeological dig thing there. Like sometimes it can get a little annoying where you're fighting the trogs and getting the drops, and then they stop dropping the thing you need, if I remember correctly. But overall, I don't know. I've always enjoyed the Badlands for some reason, and I wouldn't say it's very fun. In fact, most people would probably put it in the average to below average, but for some reason, I just think it's fun. Like, I'll put it in the above average. I guess above average would just be called fun, but it's too late to rename it now. Well, it's not, but I'm not gonna do it. Searing Gorge. Oh. I'm gonna put it in the below average. I almost put it in not fun. But there are some parts of Searing Gorge that I actually enjoy. But it's kind of that same vibe as Red Ridge and Wetlands, man. Like, I just don't look forward to going there. I'm like, I'm gonna do a couple of these quests and it'll be all right. And then it's like there's so many drop chance things there. There's so many like weird little things, like go down the mountain, go up the mountain, go around the thing, like go up the tower, go down the like I don't know. I just there's like shit walking around. I don't like Searing Gorge. Not a fan. But I don't mind doing a couple of quests there. Like I don't think it's completely not fun. Unlike the Burning Steps, which I actually don't find fun at all. Every time I've gone to the Burning Steps, I'm just like, how do I get out of here fast? I'm just like, God, do I have to be here? I really just hate the Burning Steps, man. I think it's cool to look at in some spots. There's some cool statues, and I'm sure there's some cool lore there, Black Rock Mountain. But like, I really just don't like the Burning Steps. I just don't. I just don't think it's fun. Teldrassil. I would put Teldrassil. It's either above average or average. You know what? I'll put it in the above average. Yeah, because like, there's definitely some parts where I get bored in Teldrassil. There's some parts where it feels like it's kind of you're just running around through forest and I don't know. There's definitely some parts where I'm like, this is kind of boring or whatever. But there's still a lot of cool stuff in Teldrassil. It's nice to look around and see everything there. There's some cool quests. Some of the things I hate are like those harpies. You know, those harpies that are annoying as shit. Or like the bog tendril men. They're really annoying. Like there are some annoying quests there, but I don't know. I'd still say it's pretty fun. It's definitely not very fun for me, but it's borderline, man. It's average to above average. I'd say it's towing the line. I think that's the right terminology, right? Towing the line. Towing the line. It's an idiom that means to conform to rules, obey authority. Oh, wait. I guess that's not... Okay, never mind. You know, it's on the border. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Dark Shore. Dark Shore? You know what? Okay, I'm going to drop Teldrassil to average. I actually am, but I'm going to put it at the top. Because I'm going to put Dark Shore in the above average. Because I realized that a lot of times I would just look forward to getting the Dark Shore. I love Dark Shore. It's got that creepy kind of vibe, but it's not actually creepy, right? It has that rainy day kind of feel going on, and I really like that. Plus, there's like so many interesting quests there. Things are starting to get, you know, kind of corrupted, or there's like little things here and there of like corruption. There's like the weird beached sea animal or sea monster things going on. There's the furbolgs. Honestly, I always enjoyed Dark Shore. I think it is pretty fun, not just for the aesthetic, but there's some interesting lore and different quests there too. So yeah, I'd put that at above average for me. Ashen Vale. I'm gonna... Because like there's parts of Ashen Vale I actually enjoy quite a bit. But then there's parts of Ashen Vale that I don't like as much. This is a tricky one as well. I'm going to put it in the... I'm just going to put it in average. You know, I'd probably put it up top, on the top of average, to be honest. If I'm like organizing these, there we go. I'm going to do that. And then, in fact, I'm going to put Dark Shore at the top of above average. I'm gonna put Duskwood a little bit higher here. So yeah, I don't know. There's like, I love the Zoram Strand. I like the little lumber camp area. I like the border between Ashen Vale and the Barrens. I always thought that was kind of cool and fun. But there's also like there's some annoying quests in Ashen Vale as well. Especially like the one with the caves, like was it the Furbolg Cave? I don't know. I think it is the Furbolg Cave one. Yeah. So I remember almost dying there in classic hardcore. So yeah, I think it's fun, but not that fun. I'm sitting too long on Ashen Vale. Azshara. Now Azshara, it's one of the zones that I love. I love Azshara. I love the aesthetic. I love the vibes in Azshara. When I made my WoW zones I'd visit and avoid in real life, I think I put this at the top. But in terms of fun, I'd say it's just average. Like there's really not that many quests to do. There's like the ghosts, the Naga, some Furbolg stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know, but I don't hate it. Like, I always look forward to Azshar and doing the quest there, but there's really not that much to do. So, I mean, I don't know. It's all right. Fellwood. I'm going to put that in the below average. And I'm not a big Fellwood, like, hater. Like, there's parts of Fellwood I enjoy. I don't mind Fellwood that much, but I've never really had that much fun with Fellwood. I don't know what it is, man. Like, the quests there with, like, fighting the demons are always kind of annoying. Like, you're gonna die there. There's just so much corruption. I would say the most fun I have in Fellwood is probably way up north in the northern part of Fellwood, where you have to do all the little Furbolg things to go into the Timbermaw hold. Like, that was always my favorite part of Fellwood. But aside from that, I would say I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. Moonglade. I mean, Moonglade has to be in the not fun. Like, and here's the thing. I like Moonglade, all right? I like going to Moonglade, you know, going there as a druid, you know, like, there's some interesting stuff that happens there, but, like, for the most part, it's not that fun or interesting, you know? So don't get me wrong, like, unlike the Burning Steps, I do enjoy Moonglade, but it's really not that fun. There's, like, nothing to do there, unless it's, like, the Lunar Festival type of thing. But yeah. Winter Spring, that's a very fun. I love so many parts of Winter Spring. For some reason, I'm always like, oh, the Furbolg corruption's kind of annoying. But, like, in Winter Spring, I think it's really cool because, like, you get the Winter Spring Firewater. You know, you fight them on the road and discover their lore and, like, what's going on here. There's the whole, like, Dawn of a Snowden thing. There's the Saber Cats up in the north. There's the Giants in the south. There's the Owl Beast. Like, there's, and the Gadgetson, or not Gadgetson, Everlook's there, right? I really like Winter Spring, not just the vibes, but, like, I think there's a lot of good questing and a lot of good lore and little stories there too. Like, I always look forward to going to Winter Spring. It's one of the few endgame zones that I actually really enjoy. So yeah. Durotar. Durotar is weird because there's definitely some parts of Durotar that I really enjoy. Like, there's some parts I really love in Durotar, but there's also some parts that I just really can't stand. Like, some of those caves with the orcs in them, like in the northeast, are so bad. Like, some of the crags and the valleys are really annoying. The harpies, but then there's parts with, like, the like Senjin Village is really cool. I always thought the little, like, shipwrecked area with the humans where you have to gather the gnomish tools was really fun. There's the Quillbore, scorpions, and even the orc starting area is pretty fun. I'm just gonna put it in average. I'll balance it out and just say average because there's some really fun stuff and then some really not fun stuff. So I'll put it in the middle. The Barrens. The Barrens is either. Here's the thing. I love going to the Barrens, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna put it in very fun. It was either above average or very fun, and then when I started comparing it to some of the above average ones, I was like, would I rather go to the Barrens or the Badlands? I'd rather go to the Barrens. Would I rather go to Elwyn Forest or the Barrens? Probably the Barrens. That might just be my horde brain, though. Duskwood Barrens, I'd pick the Barrens, and then Darkshore. Darkshore is pretty close with the Barrens, but I would say I'd go to the Barrens still. There's so many parts of the Barrens I love. There's Ratchet. I always love doing the Ratchet quests. Doing all the, like, little Oasis quests. Wailing Caverns, the Razor Fen in the south. Doing, like, the fighting the Thunder Lizards and the Quillbore. I don't know. I always really enjoyed the Barrens, and I know some people hate the Barrens. Like, this place sucks. It's boring. It's big. But it's one of the reasons I love it. Like, I don't know. I really enjoy the Barrens, man. So I'm gonna put it in very fun. Mulgore. That's another very fun. I would actually put Mulgore a little bit higher than the Barrens, to be honest. And here's the thing. I've leveled through Mulgore from classic hardcore WoW like 7 times. Like, the entirety of Mulgore. And I'm sure there's people who have leveled much more than that, but the fact that even on like leveling the 7th time through Mulgore, I still enjoyed it, I think just speaks volumes to Mulgore. Like, just being in the open plains, looking out and seeing the like mountains and Thunder Bluff and the open sky, and honestly, there's a lot of pretty fun quests there. Nothing like crazy though, right? Like, there's never like, oh man, these are like the most fun quests I've ever done. But I feel like as a combination of things, like the questing and the lore and the aesthetic and the environment, it just makes it fun. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure it out, because like some of the quests again are just like grind quests. Go kill the mountain lions, go kill the things here. Maybe it's just because I like Taran. It might just be that, you know, I might be giving them a pass because I love Taran and I love the entire aesthetic of Mulgore, but I always have fun when I quest through Mulgore, so I got to put it in the very fun. All right, next up we have Dustwallow Marsh, and I would say Dustwallow Marsh is not the most fun. Like, it's not going to be at the top, and I don't even think it's going to be in the above average, but like, there are some fun parts to Dustwallow Marsh. It's just a matter of like, how much fun. And I would say when I do the comparison, right, when I compare it to like Teldrassil, Ashenvale, Westfall, I think I'd rather go to all the average places than Dustwallow Marsh. So I'm going to put it in the below average. But I think I'd still like it over Wetlands, to be honest. It's probably about the same as Red Ridge to me. Yeah, I'd put it in the below average. Next up, we have the Stone Talon Mountains, and I would say Stone Talon is another average for me. I've never really been like, oh boy, the Stone Talon Mountains, but there's some parts of Stone Talon I like. And there's I think that's with a lot of these zones, there's certain areas that I like in them. Like, I always enjoy going to the big water wheel area in Stone Talon, or doing some of the quests right when you walk in, like fighting those the evil Taran or whatever they are. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some parts of Stone Talon I really like, but then there's some parts that are just like just so boring, or that I hate going to. Or even some of the things that I like can be kind of annoying. Like, I always thought it was cool where you have to team up and fight that big spider with like the wanted poster, like, uh-oh. But it can still be kind of annoying if you can't find a group, or you're just like, I don't know, it's frustrating. But yeah, I'd say it's average. It's okay. All right, then we have Classic Desolace, and it's got to be another average for me. Classic Desolace was just another one where there's some fun parts. I like Shadowprey Village, but just grinding centaurs. I can't help but think of the centaur grinding. You hit like the mid 30s or whatever it is. It's like level 37, and it's like, all right, time for Desolace. Time to just grind centaurs for like an entire level. And even some of the quests are just like, they're kind of whatever. I don't know, man. I'm not a big Desolace person, to the point where, you know what? I'm actually going to put Desolace in the below average. Call me crazy, I've done it, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It sounds more fun in my head. Even some of the coastal quests, like finding the crabs and the cages and stuff, like, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say below average. Feralus, however, I would put Feralus. I think I'm going to put Feralus in very fun. I like Feralus. I would say I enjoyed the vast majority of Feralus. There's definitely some parts where I don't have as much fun in Feralus. I was trying to, like, some of the quests, like, kill the giants on the coast with the shrink rays. That one's fun for a bit. And then they're like, do it like 30 times. I'm like, okay. And there's like some quests here and there, especially in like the northwestern part where I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I'd say overall, I really enjoy the aesthetic and the vibe of Feralus. I like Camp Mojachi or even like Feathermoon Stronghold for the Alliance. And it's genuinely just like pretty fun throughout the zone. Because sometimes you'll start questing there and be like, it was fun and then it got bad. But like, I think it's pretty fun throughout to the point where I usually enjoy questing through Feralus, except for a few parts in here and there. But I feel like every zone is going to be like that, where there's definitely going to be some boring quests or some bad parts. And, you know, that's just the way it is, right? Nothing's going to be perfect, but I would say Feralus is still very fun. 1,000 Needles. I would put 1,000 Needles. Oh, man, because it has the shimmering flats in it. And you know what? I'm going to put it in above average because there's going to be people that definitely don't enjoy 1,000 Needles as much as I do. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, I love questing in the shimmering flats. And I don't even mind some of the 1,000 Needles quests. Like, some of them are annoying. But I would say overall, I always enjoy 1,000 Needles because of the shimmering flats, which is just like, it's a big grindy area. It's like a salt flat. You would think like, wow, this is the most boring thing ever. And there's people that do think that, but for some reason, I love it, man. I don't know. I'm like, yes, the shimmering flats. And you go to the raceway. There's like that weird alien egg quest in the 1,000 Needles. There's that one where you have to like fight the panther in the cage or he gets out. Like, I don't know. There's some quests where even though I know they're not the most exciting or being like, wow, this is crazy, like I always enjoy doing them. And I wouldn't say it's very fun, but I do look forward to it more than I would say all of the zones in the average category. So I'm going to put 1,000 Needles in above average. Tanaris. I'm going to put Tanaris in above average. Like, the more I think about it, I do really enjoy classic Tanaris. There's the whole pirate area I always think is fun. Just the Zul'Farrak area. There's the ogres in the southwest. I always enjoy doing those quests down there. I would say the only thing I don't like, which I think prevents it from going to the very fun category, is those bug areas. I'm not a big fan of the insect bug areas, which I guess Feralus has some of them too. But the Tanaris ones, I don't know. They just, I feel like I hate them more. Like, even when I did the Feralus bug area, it wasn't as bad in my head. Maybe I'm just like making shit up in my head, but I really don't like going to the Tanaris bug areas. And there's some other quests here and there that I'm not a big fan of, but like overall I have a great time in Tanaris. I always look forward to Tanaris. Even doing that quest down in the southwest with the cactuses, the dew glands, and then taking the turtle back to the other turtle. Like, there's plenty to like in Tanaris, to the point where I'd probably put it in the higher above average. I wouldn't say it's very fun, but I would say it's pretty close to the very fun category. There's still some things holding it back for me, but I have a lot of fun there. Un'Goro Crater. I'm going to say, I'm going to put it in above average. I always like Un'Goro, just fighting the dinosaurs, the crystals. I really like the aesthetic there, the big volcano in the middle, checking the temperatures. Yeah, I always enjoy Un'Goro Crater quite a bit. I wouldn't say it's very fun, but I'd say it's above average. Like, I enjoy going there and doing some of those quests, but there's definitely some points where I'm like, all right, I think I'm done. You know, it's one of those things where when I'm done with Un'Goro Crater, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm good. I got my Un'Goro Crater fix. I think I'm good. But some of these zones where, you know, like Mulgore, I finish Mulgore and I'm like, I could do it again, right? I don't really get that with Un'Goro Crater. I'm like, I do it once and I'm like, okay. And I think for me, that puts it in the above average category. Silithus. I'm gonna put it, I mean, it's either not fun or below average, to be honest, but there's some things I like in Silithus, but at the same time, oh man, because you know what? I'm gonna put it in below average. I think there's still there's still some things I like about it, but then again, do I look forward to Silithus at all? Oh man, this is a tricky one because like I do like some of the quests there, but there's really not that. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna put it in not fun. It's it's not fun. All right. Even, I mean, just because there's a few fun things there doesn't make it, you know, slightly fun. I mean, it can be not, like, if there's like a couple quests that got removed that I enjoyed doing there, it would be in the not fun category. So I may as well just put it in the not fun. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in not fun. All right, Tirisfal Glades. I'm really not a big fan of Tirisfal Glades. I've been vocal about the point that whenever I would level an undead, I would just go run to Durotar or somewhere else. And I don't know why, because I don't think Tirisfal is inherently bad. And I know there's some people I know that love Tirisfal. Like, it's one of their favorite zones. But I've just never had a great time leveling in Tirisfal. I don't know. So I'm gonna put it in the below average. I'll put it in the higher below average, but I've just genuinely never had that much fun leveling in Tirisfal. I don't know. Silverpine Forest, I'm going to put into the... Oh, boy. I mean, it's kind of the same as Tirisfal, to be honest. Hey, I'm gonna put it in the below average category. Yeah, it's okay. Like, I haven't even... to be honest, I've only quested through there a few times. But... like, I've never been like, yes, Silverpine Forest, I can't wait, right? Or I haven't even really been like, oh, cool, Silverpine. Like, maybe for a little bit, I'm like, okay, we do Silverpine. I get kind of bored. I don't know. I'm not a big Silverpine person either. Alterac Mountains. To be honest, I do actually like some parts of the Alterac Mountains. And it's kind of weird because it's like, Hillsbrid and Alterac kind of intertwine a weird part where I'm like, am I in Alterac or am I in Hillsbrid right now? And I don't really know. Like the part with the Yetis, I think is in Alterac Mountains, but I'm not sure. And then there's like the little Dalaran area, which I think is still Hillsbrid. But then the area with the ogres up top is Alterac Mountains. And then that area that like curves around with the green grass and the little house, that's Alterac Mountains. I would actually put it in the below average. I don't think it's not fun, but there's really not much to do, and like it's okay. Honestly, I'd still probably rather go to the Alterac Mountains than the Dustwallow Marsh. Actually, I'll put Desolus over Searing Gorge as well. I need to reorganize some of these, I think. That's fine. Hillsbrid Foothills, however, I always enjoy Hillsbrid. I'm gonna put that in the above average. I think Hillsbrid has a lot of interesting quests with like the farmland where you have to kill all the farmers and the farm hands. There's the mines down there, which I guess you might find not interesting as well. I always enjoy doing it, but I guess it's not super interesting, but I don't know. I always enjoyed it. And then you've got like the southeast part with the Dwarven bunker area with all the elites. You got Tarn Mill. There's obviously the Bear Asses and Spider Ichor, which is, you know, I always enjoy doing it at first, and then if you don't get all of it right away, then it's not fun. But I would say overall, there's the Turtle Meat quest going up and down the river. There's, oh man, what's that? In the north, oh yeah, southeast, there's the fur or the Knoll Mushroom area. South Shore, you got in the northeast, there's the hold, right, where you gotta rescue the orcs and there's all that stuff. Like, I don't know, I always have a great time in Hillsbrid, so I'm gonna put it in the above average. Arathi Highlands. This is a weird one too, because like I genuinely do enjoy questing in the Arathi Highlands, but only for a bit. I always get really excited, like, dude, I'm in the Arathi Highlands, and then I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know, it's nothing crazy, but I think I just enjoy the aesthetic of Arathi more than the actual questing in Arathi, and so I think for that, I'm just gonna put it in the average category. Yeah, I mean, I'll just put it around there. That's probably where I'd put it. Like, I think that's one of the, again, it's one of the zones I go to that I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun in, and then that I enjoy for a bit, and then I'm like, actually, it's okay. The Hinterlands. I would say the Hinterlands is above average. I always enjoy the Hinterlands questing. Questing down by the troll city. I always like that. There's all the turtles, and you got to fight the like named turtle. There's Lard lost his lunch. In the northeast, there's like the little blood elf area. There's the slimes. For some reason, I always have fun fighting the slimes. There's the whole like troll outside dungeon area. Like, I think it's pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's very fun, but I do have a great time in the Hinterlands. Western Plaguelands. Oh boy, I'm not a big Western Plagueland person, but I would, for me, I'd put it at the high end of average. Well, I'd put it probably just below Arathi Highlands, actually. I like Western Plaguelands more than Eastern Plaguelands. Spoiler for the next one. But I always enjoy doing the cauldron things in Western Plaguelands. Those are some of my favorites. I'm like, dude, yes, we have to go to the cauldrons and like fight the little cauldron boss. And then there's some fun, interesting quests there, fighting the Scarlet Monastery there. Although some of those quests are annoying, like the one where you gotta burn down the tent and there's like 80 Scarlet people just standing next to each other. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. Like, it's not my favorite, but I don't mind going there. However, the Eastern Plaguelands, I genuinely don't like the Eastern Plaguelands. I'd say I'd like it more than these. Actually, you know what? Moonglade's probably at the top just because it's Moonglade. But in fact, do that. I've never liked going to the Eastern Plaguelands. Even back like 20 years ago in classic vanilla World of Warcraft, I really didn't like going to the Eastern Plaguelands. I just don't like it. I don't know. I get bored there. I think some of the quests are annoying. Some of the mobs are annoying to fight. Like, I just don't like it, man. I don't know. Deadwind Pass. That's probably a not fun. Mainly because there's like nothing there. There's Karazhan, right? And then some like random ass stuff. But like overall, it's not that fun. In fact, I see Blasted Lands here. I'm putting that also in not fun. I don't like Blasted Lands. I do like it more than Burning Steps and probably Deadwind Pass. Hey, you know what? I'd put it above. I think it's at the top of the not fun, but I still don't like Blasted Lands. It's just like grind mobs. That's what it like boils down to. It's like grind some mobs. And there's the Dark Portal. I don't know. I'm not a big Blasted Lands person. Swamp of Sorrows, however, I do think is okay. But I'd say it's kind of like below average. There's some decent quests there that I don't mind doing. There's like the weird broken Draenei dudes. There's some interesting creatures walking around. There's some Murlocs, the beach, but it's okay. It's in fact, I never really am like, oh boy, Swamp of Sorrows. I'm like, I guess I can do some stuff in Swamp of Sorrows. So yeah, I'd put it in below average. Azurmist Isle. It's got some okay stuff, but again, it kind of feels on par with Silverpine Forest to me. Like, it's all right. And Bloodmist Isle, probably the same. I've done Bloodmist Isle like once, I think forever ago. So I really don't know that much about it aside from walking through it. So I can't really make a great decision there, but yeah, I'd put it in the below average. Then we have Eversong Woods, the old version. And oh boy. I always thought it was okay. I'd put it in average. Like, it was all right. I only leveled Blood Elves a few times, but I never hated Eversong Woods. I'd always be like, this is all right. So I don't know. Nothing really stood out for me. Like, I was like, it's okay. Ooh, the Scar. That's pretty cool from Arthas. But I was, you know, I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was good. So yeah, I'll put it in the average. Ghostlands, those kind of the same for me. I know there's people out there that love Ghostlands, dude. Like some people are like, dude, Ghostlands the best. One of my favorites, but it was okay. I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't really like it that much. But, or you know, it wasn't like, oh boy, I'm gonna have a lot of fun here, that type of thing. Then we have Hellfire Peninsula, and to me, I'd put Hellfire Peninsula. You know what? I think I'd put it in the above average. I genuinely have a pretty good time in Hellfire Peninsula. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, there's some interesting quests there. Like, sometimes just walking around or flying around or whatever is kind of whatever. But for the most part, I actually have a pretty good time in Hellfire Peninsula. There's definitely some annoying quests. But again, there's always annoying quests in plenty of places. Zanger Marsh. That's a very fun. Love Zanger Marsh. Love a lot of the quests there. I even like a lot of the boring quests there. I guess, well, you know, boring, but things like the Naga areas where you have to like go to those machines and like get them all wrapped up in vines and stuff, or fighting the Sporagar up in the north, or not the north, the western part of Zanger Marsh. There's the northeastern part where you have to fight the things in like the dried out dead forest of mushrooms or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. I would say in the grand scheme of Zanger Marsh, I have a lot of fun. And I always go into Zanger Marsh, kind of like what I mentioned in some of these other zones. I go into Zanger Marsh going like, this is going to be a lot of fun. And I leave being like, that was a lot of fun. And like, I would actually do it again. And that's kind of what I'm basing very fun off of, is if I complete the zone, would I mind going back and doing that all over again? And I would say I would. Like, I wouldn't mind. So, and I'm going to say the same here for Nagrand. I'm going to put that into the very fun as well. This list is getting kind of crazy now. It's it's like overflowing. But yeah, I would put that in the very fun. Nagrand's always a great time. It almost feels like a Stranglethorn in Outland. Like it's its own type of Stranglethorn, right? But it's got Temmet Nestingwary there. It's almost like a space Stranglethorn, because you were at like an Outland or whatever. I don't know. I always enjoyed Nagrand, not just for the aesthetic, but I do enjoy a lot of the quests there. You got the Laughing Skull Ruins, you got the Ring of Blood. The only part I don't really like in Nagrand is like the demon area in the northwest and the western part. There's some like ogre stuff there too, which like I don't mind as much, but the demon part's kind of boring. But overall, like, I love Nagrand. Terakar Forest, I'm gonna put into the above average. I would say Terakar, I like the forest part, and then the actual big Dreadwaste, or not Dreadwaste, the big Alkendown place in the south is kind of whatever for me. Like, it's okay. But I think that actually bumps it from very fun down to like above average. Like, I always enjoy the Terakar Forest part more than the actual, you know, dead area in the south. Blade's Edge. Honestly, I would put Blade's Edge in average. That's another place where I get really excited to go to Blade's Edge, and I do some of the quests there, and I'm like, it's okay. But I don't get the same, I don't have as much fun as I do in some of the other zones, like Terakar, Zanger Marsh, Nagrand. I'd probably, even like Hellfire Peninsula, like I'd rather do Hellfire than Blade's Edge. Netherstorm, I would say Netherstorm to me is also average. There's some quests I really enjoy doing in Netherstorm, like the Ghost Cow, Archmage Vargoth, or whatever it is. There's like some biodomes, whatever they're called, where you go in there, they're kind of fun, but like after a while questing in Netherstorm, I'm just kind of bored. So I'm just gonna say it's average. Shadow Moon Valley, I'm actually gonna put that in below average. I never really enjoy questing in Shadow Moon Valley in Outland, and I don't know why. Like, every time I tried going there, being like, how's this gonna go, like, it was okay. and I'd be like, I don't really want to come back here. To the point where I almost want to put it in the not fun category. Like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in not fun. I don't like Shadow Moon Valley in Outland. I think some people just like it because there's Blackrock Mountain, or not Blackrock Mountain. There's the temple there, why can't I think of the the name of that place? Shadow Moon Valley, the Black Temple. Oh my god, I kept thinking Blackrock Mountain. Yeah, the Black Temple's there, and like, you know, that's pretty neat, but overall, like, I just don't like questing there. Like, I just don't think it's fun. All right, you might be like, Crendor, why did you change your shirt? What happened? Well, I recorded the first part of this video yesterday, and I was like, dude, this is taking forever. I gotta go stream and do stuff, so now we're recording the second half on day 2. So I'm coming in here with a fresh mindset now for ranking some of these zones, starting with the Isle of Quel'Danas. And I'm going to put that in below average. And I'm sure there's some people that love Isle of Quel'Danas, as I keep saying, for like all the things that I don't like. But I've just never was a big Isle of Quel'Danas fan. Like, just straight up. I remember doing the quest there. I remember having to go there and just being like, man, I don't want to go here. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's you couldn't fly around there, I think was part of it. It was just a lot of dailies, and there was, I don't know. I really didn't enjoy it that much. I thought the aesthetic was cool. And that was probably the main thing that I enjoyed, which is why I wouldn't put it in the not fun, but it was not for me. Then we have the Scarlet Enclave, which I believe is the Death Knight starting area. And I would put that in the above average. Maybe even, I think it would probably border on even being just very fun, but I'm going to put it in above average because, you know, it's a starting zone area. It can't be like that crazy. But I think the starting zone Death Knight area is one of the most fun starting zones. Like, you get to do so many things that are very, like, Death Knight centric. You know, you steal your horse, you get to fight the chapel place, like, with the zombie dragons, and then there's, like, the big battle. Like, it's honestly just a really fun zone. There, you know, fun little, it almost feels like a scenario. It almost doesn't even really feel like its own zone, but yeah, I'd put it in the above average. Then we have Borean Tundra. And this is an interesting one, because back in the day, I used to call it the boring tundra, right? I was like, this place is boring. This place sucks. Nobody likes the boring tundra. And then classic Wrath of the Lich King came out like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't even remember at this point. But I leveled through Borean Tundra, and I was like, that was actually pretty fun. And I don't know what changed. I don't know if it's because I just matured as a person and I like the story and the lore and the stuff there more and the questing. I don't know if I've grown to kind of enjoy that kind of, you know, like landscape more or something, but I actually really enjoyed the Borean Tundra this time around. So back in the day, I would have put Borean Tundra in the below average, not fun. Now, I would put it in above average. Like, genuinely, I had a great time in the Borean Tundra. The Tuskar are there. There's like a whole bunch of variety there. Like, I don't know. I actually really like it. Then we have Howling Fjord. And Howling Fjord to me is very fun. I mean, it's like a very cool Viking themed zone. You got the fjord, very aesthetically pleasing and nice to walk around. A lot of cool quests there with returning the whole thing with the gravestones and the weapons. I don't remember if it's like you put the weapons by the gravestones or like you return the weapons, right? I think that's what it was. There's like the pack mules lost in the fjord. You got the little Tuskar area in the southwest. You have like the whole undead horde thing on the eastern side. I really like the Howling Fjord. I always look forward to leveling there. And I think that might be one of the reasons I didn't like the Borean Tundra as much, is because I would always just go to Howling Fjord. And I really didn't give Borean Tundra, I think, a fair chance back in the day. So, I mean, I still put Howling Fjord in very fun, though. I always look forward to going to Howling Fjord. Dragon Blight. Dragon Blight, to me, it's either above average or very fun. Because I love, you know, I'm gonna put it in above average because I think there's a little too many zone areas that I'm not a fan of. Like a lot of the human war areas, I'm not a big fan of. I prefer the like the little the Wolvar areas, or like the Southwest where there's the Anubarak people, or that's not what they're called, but you know, the spider people. And like all that type of stuff. Or the Southeast, you have like the undead and the place where Arthas landed and the ghost. I thought that's really cool. But I think I don't really like the northern part of Dragon Blight when I think about it. And I think there's a lot of zones like that where initially in my head, I'm like, yo, this place is really fun. And then I think of leveling there and I think like, it's fun for a bit. And I think that's where a lot of these zones go into the above average category. There's like, because again, like I mentioned, there's things I don't like in the very fun zones that I enjoy leveling in, but not as many. And I think in the above average category, there's plenty of things I like, but just so there's too many areas that I'm like, I don't know. Grizzly Hills. I mean, that's a very fun right there, no doubter. Love Grizzly Hills. A lot of fun quests, a lot of weird NPCs in there. I've even done some pointless top 10s about just some interesting NPCs in the Grizzly Hills. There's mainly Bud, which I believe he's also in the Howling Fjord. And then he shows up, or no, that might be someone else. Dude, I need to refresh my memory, but Bud's the one that wears the troll mask. Oh, I'm thinking of the guy who does like the blood elf. He's like obsessed with blood elves. That's in the Howling Fjord. This guy, Bud, is the one where he thinks he's a troll. A lot of people would think there are other races in this this expansion. But yeah, Grizzly Hills, I love it. Like thinking of the entire zone, there's really nowhere that I dislike. The earthen part in the southeast and like that Worgen Tower, like I was always kind of like, I don't know with that part, but it's not bad. Like I still don't mind doing it. It's just not my favorite. But yeah, I love the Grizzly Hills. I love the Furbolg part with the big tree. That's got to be my favorite part. Going to that tree, doing all the quests around that area. There's the Harrison Jones quests, which I think are a lot of fun and goofy. Yeah, I love Grizzly Hills. Zuul'Drak. This is another one where I would put it in very fun. And I think there's definitely some people that don't like Zuul'Drak as much as I do, but I love the theme. I love the aesthetic. And questing through there, I think there's a lot of fun quests. I think the Amphitheater of Anguish is really cool. I just did pointless top 10 arenas, which I talk about the Amphitheater and why it's one of my favorite places. In terms of like arenas and coliseums and stadiums in World of Warcraft. And then I just think that the actual like theme of like the trolls and learning about all the troll gods and stuff like that is really fun, really cool. I always like questing in Zuul'Drak. I'm trying to think if there's any quests there that I don't really like. Because I know in the earlier parts of Zuul'Drak, you have the ghouls and the undead and stuff like that attacking, but even that, I think it's okay. So yeah, I'm a fan of Zuul'Drak. Honestly, I think a lot of the Northrend zones are phenomenal. Which means Sholazar Basin will go into... Although I think I'd put Sholazar in above average. Yeah, there's a lot that I like about Sholazar Basin. I think there's a lot of fun quests there. I think it's really, it's a really interesting zone because you have like all the rivers kind of joining into the center, and you have like Hemet Nessingwary's little area where he crashed his ship. I don't know if he personally crashed it or someone else crashed it, but they crashed their ship and they're stranded there. And they set up that camp. You make the Kungaloosh, and like I love doing all those goofy quests over there. You do have the Gorlocks, or I think it's the Gorloks, right? You have their whole quest thing, and I always like doing that. I think that's a lot of fun. Love helping the Gorloks. You have the Wolvar as well, so you have like that whole Gorlok Wolvar thing going on, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the part with the avalanche, and there's like all the undead there, and then I think there's some areas with like insects and stuff. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there are. I think there's also like some dinosaur stuff, right? And then there's like the little encampment with the Venture Co there, which I always thought was pretty fun. Honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put Sholazar in the very fun category, like because I just keep talking about it. I'm like, what don't I like there? And I guess there's like a couple things, but like overall, I think Sholazar is really fun. So I'm like, you know what? Let's move it up. I like how some of these I just talk myself into it or talk myself out of it. Now we have Crystal Song Forest, and I mean, listen, I think Crystal Song Forest is a really cool zone. I think it's got some interesting lore behind it with like the explosion, the magical explosion that did all this, and Dalaran's there and stuff, but like it's not a fun zone. It's just, it's kind of unfinished. There's not that much there. I mean, it's cool to walk around in, right? But there's like 4 quests there you can do. Dalaran's there, I guess, but yeah, I would put that. It's kind of in the same boat as Moonglade, I would say. Storm Peaks. Storm Peaks is going in very fun. No doubter. Love Storm Peaks. One of my favorite zones. In the mountains. You have the In the Mountains quest there. You have the little goblin area at the start, K52. I don't even remember the actual name of it, but I know it starts with a K. You got that big giant right there. You got like the landmines with the kobolds running through. You got the Viking women thing where you ride on the polar bear, and then you have to go into the little like arena thing and fight. There's a lot. There's the big Viking giant area with all the frost giants. The Ulduar parts, the earthen parts. Like I love Storm Peaks, man. I think it's so fun to quest in. Yeah, it's got to be in the very fun. However, Ice Crown. I'm gonna put Ice Crown in the below average. I really never look forward to going to Ice Crown, and even thinking about it, like doing the little Argent tournament area there's all right, and that's like, it's almost like not even really part of the zone. Like it's in the zone, right? But it's kind of like tucked away up at the top. It may as well be in Storm Peaks at that point, right? Like it's kind of on the border of both. But like the actual zone of Ice Crown always to me felt like this is where Arthas is. Here's his like domain, and like it's cool to look around and stuff, but for the most part, like I never really enjoyed questing there that much. I wouldn't say it's not fun, but I would say it's definitely below average. And that's just my opinion. Winter Grasp. I mean, I'd put Winter Grasp in the above average. I wouldn't say it's very fun, but I always love going to Winter Grasp. Like it's a solid time going there, doing the PvP. I wish that I mentioned it in a different video. I wish they would do more with Winter Grasp. But you know, they've tried it a few times, right, with things like Tol Barad and other stuff. But I feel like in the modern game, it'd be really cool to have like a really big zone, like they do with Dragonflight, and all those zones after it, and have like a really big PvP type of zone. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But we'll see. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I doubt they'll do that, but I would love if they did something like that, because I do love the idea, the concept of Winter Grasp. I think it was the best one out of all the things they tried, but yeah, I'd put it in the above average. Hrogthar's Landing, I consider this part of like Ice Crown, to be honest. I mean, I guess it is its own place. It's very cool walking around killing Tuskar, which I hate, not fun. I don't want to kill Tuskar. Kazan. I thought Kazan's a fun starting zone. Some people don't like it, because I was talking about starting zones in my my tier list of ranking the starting zones, And I always thought Kazan was fun, right? It's kind of got that like weird goblin GTA vibe or something going on, which I think is what they went for. I wouldn't say it's very fun, but like it's a solid, you know, quirky little starting zone. Like I think it's a good time. Lost Isles. The thing with the Lost Isles is like I've only ever played through them like twice in the span of like 15 years or however long it's been. So I don't really have like a super opinion. I'd probably just put it in average. I think because I like the aesthetic of Lost Isles, but I'm kind of going more for is it fun to quest there? And I do kind of think there's some goofy, weird quests there, but I can't remember enough to say whether it's like fun or not fun. So I'm just gonna put it in the average. Gilneas. I'm going to put Gilneas in the average. And there again, this is some people love Gilneas. They're like, that's my favorite place to level. I'll beat you up. But yeah, I always thought Gilneas was okay. I never hated leveling in Gilneas. I kind of like the starting part of Gilneas, and then I get kind of bored towards the end of it. I like the escaping part, where you're like trying to escape out of the Gilneas area and into the countryside or whatever. But I don't know. It's not my thing. So yeah. Then we have the Cataclysm version of some of these zones. So Elwyn Forest, Retail. I mean, I would probably rank it the same as the classic one, but worse. I mean, I'd say it's still above average, but I think the classic one is definitely better. Westfall Retail. I'd probably, you know, put that in the average as well. Although I like some of the like weird quirky quests they added in Retail. Sometimes it feels like they went a little too far with some of the Cataclysm things and made it a little too goofy. And listen, I'm all for some goofy stuff, but sometimes it just feels like they were going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's all right. It's okay. Like Red Ridge to me is kind of just the same. I don't really know what's even different in Red Ridge. I know there's like certain things like they're trying to move the boulder. There's like some things that are, but I don't quest enough in Red Ridge to really know. Duskwood, honestly, that's another one where like I don't like some of these. I just don't know. All right, so I cleaned up the list a bit so we can keep going with a bit more clarity here, because some of these I was just like Elwyn Forest again, like Dunmorrow again. I'm like, I'm just gonna put them where they were. But Dark Shore after Cataclysm, I would actually rank that into average instead of above average. And I think when it got hit by the Cataclysm, it just lost something. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I've quested through both areas, right? And it's just like, I don't know, when things got destroyed and there's like the tornado there, and it's just, I think it lost some of that creepy aesthetic charm that I had that was like so fun to be in when I was questing initially. And then it got more of this like chaotic energy to it. And I didn't really like that as much. And it's just like the tornadoes and the natural disasters are destroy. Literally Malfurion's like the tornado. He's like over there. I don't know. It's like, it's okay, but I do think it lost something. Ashenvale. Ashenvale's kind of at the same point to me where I'm like, I'm considering putting it in below average, but I think I'd still put it in average, but like at the bottom of average. I like some of the stuff they did with Ashenvale. I just don't like with the volcano man up at the top, like the big elemental, like, and it just, I'm very much into like immersion, and sometimes like going there now, like I just don't feel immersed. It almost feels like, I mentioned this in my video talking about things they need to repair tier list, but it really takes you out when like we're 15 years down the line and I go to do some quests there and I'm like, this should be fun. And it's just like, there's a war going on with Cataclysm and the volcano erupted. And I'm like, bro, the volcano's been here for like so long. And I'm just like, I don't know. That really does make it less fun for me. So yeah, I'd put it at like the bottom. Azshara, however, I do actually kind of like the quests and stuff they put in Azshara. And so even though I have the old one in average. I would probably put the new one right next to it in terms of fun. And I think it's because even though I don't like what they did with the zone, where they kind of took a very like autumnal, mysterious type of vibe that it had going with like these ancient relics and the Naga and stuff. And they turned it into like Goblin Raceway with like Gallywix's head mansion looking over everything. I still like a lot of the quests and some of the goofy stuff they did there. Because, I mean, listen, there was like nothing in Azshara anyway. So I do like that. But at the same time, I just wish they... I wish they kept some of that charm in the zone in like a different part of it and had less goblin craziness there. Like maybe at like near the Orgrimmar part, if they kept more of that. But then, you know, you go out and you see like their big base they built on the water and like, so I don't know. But again, there's a lot of fun quests there, so I'm still gonna put it in the average. Winter Spring, well, actually Winter Spring didn't really change that much. I'm just gonna drop it down here with all the other stuff I put down here. All right, the Northern and Southern Barrens. So this one's interesting because I have the old Barrens in very fun, but I would just put the new Barrens in like above average, because again, I like a lot of the zone or a lot of the quests they added to the Baron zones. I think some are really interesting. I enjoyed playing through them, but it's one of those things where, again, I play through it once and I go, okay, well, that was cool. While with the old Barons, I can play through it like time and time again and be like, yo, let's keep doing this. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. I think some of it does tie into that kind of immersion cataclysmic stuff I was talking about, right? Like once I play through the Cataclysm stuff once, it almost feels like I'm playing through the Cataclysm. And now going back and doing it, I'm like, well, I already did the Cataclysm. Well, when I go through the classic Barons, it has that kind of old school Dungeons and Dragons RPG vibe where it's kind of just, I'm just doing some generic quests. And even though the quests aren't as good in terms of like design and crazy stuff, right? Like you would think go kill like 15 Quillboars is going to be much more boring than helping Mancrick like be like, I'm gonna go sicko mode, and he's like spinning around killing Quillboars. Like that's pretty cool, and I love some of those quests, but at the same time, like again, it just feels like I'm still in the Cataclysm, and I wish it didn't. I wish it felt like it was its own thing and more modern, and it kind of progressed. I think if they healed stuff up and had some of the similar quests that were more like zone specific and less focused on like the Cataclysm and what it done, I think I would actually like it a lot more. So yeah. Desolace. Now here's one where I actually enjoy. I'm gonna put this Desolace into the I think I'd put it in the average category. The old one's in the below average. I would put New Desolace in the average. I actually like what they did with the zone. I like that they're regrowing it, and there's like, if you go to the place in the center, there's like trees and stuff. They got like little trees they're about to plant. And there's like the Night Elves and like, is it the Cenarian Circle there? I actually don't remember, but they're like, we need to regrow the land and everything. And I still like all the Kodo graveyard stuff, and it's now it's got a bunch of grass. Like I actually really like what they did with Desolace. And it doesn't feel as cataclysmic because they're like kind of doing the opposite where they're like regrowing it, which, you know, it's from the Cataclysm and stuff, right? And they probably mention the Cataclysm a lot when you're questing through it, but I really do like the direction they take with Desolace and Cataclysm, and I hope that if they update things, they just, you know, keep going with it further. It'd be funny if the desolate lands are like very vibrant and full of life, but it's still called Desolace. It'd be kind of funny. 1,000 Needles. This one to me is gonna be in probably I'd put it in average. Well, the thing is, like, I still think it might be above average. It's kind of bordering for me. I'll put it at the bottom of above average because I like some of the quests they did there. You would think I'd be like, they ruined 1,000 Needles, right? And aesthetically wise, yes, I'm not a fan of that, and I miss the raceway and stuff, but I do like a lot of the quests they added in and some of the things they did with the zone. Like, I think the actual boats the little boat above the raceway now with all the goblins and gnomes. Like, I think that's really cool. There's some fun quests to do there as well. There's like the pirates that are attacking, and there's some fun pirate quests to do. I remember I even did some in my WoW leveling series. There's like some Twilight stuff around, like the Twilight Hammer and Cult or whatever, and that's like okay. I'm not a big fan of those quests, but I think overall, like, it's pretty fun still. Like, I would still say it's above average. But definitely, I think towards the bottom of the above average. Then we have New Tanaris. And I'm not going to lie. I think New Tanaris to me is just average. I really kind of miss that old Tanaris vibe of it felt like you're just out in the desert. You're doing some of these quests, but it was always like go fight the ogres, kill the like assassins, and you know there's go to the coast and like lead the turtles there, like all the Tanaris stuff. It made me feel like I'm in the desert. And now with the Cataclysm Tanaris, it feels more like it doesn't feel like a desert anymore. It just feels like a beach, like I'm on like a coastal kind of more. It feels more tropical. And I don't think it should feel like that. I mean, I think it can. I think they could go that way. And I think if they updated it again, I think they'd make it a little more like Booty Bay-esque, and then they can turn that area into more of like an actual built-up goblin resort type of area. I think that would be fun. But at the same time, I don't know. It lost something for me, man. Like, it lost some fun when they updated it, and it doesn't hit the same. And even like some of the quests, I'm just like, oh no, it's okay. I don't hate it or anything, but I would just say it's okay. Hillsbrad Foothills. This is another one where I genuinely like Old Hillsbrad in the above average category, but I would put New Hillsbrad in the average category. I'd probably put it at the top of the average category though. Like there's definitely some fun quests, like the one where you have to like, there's like the human heads planted in the garden or whatever. That shit's kind of wild. And there's like some interesting stuff with the South Shore all mutated and everything. And Tarn Mills kind of like, but I don't know. There's something fun about where it's like Alliance and Horde right next to each other. And then, I don't know. Some of the quests just feel a little too, it almost feels like a little too forced. Like that. And I don't know if that's actually what it is or I'm just crazy. I might just be crazy, but there's something about New Hillsbrad where I'm like, it lost something with everything that happened there. And again, there's still some cool quests there. I still had fun when I quested through there, but not as much as Old Hillsbrad. Then we got the new Western Plaguelands, and that one I would probably rank still in the average category, just like other Western Plaguelands, but I do like some of the newer Western Plaguelands stuff. And obviously, you know, they got like they're rebuilding it, but the corruption's still kind of there, which I think is cool. Honestly, I haven't played through there in a while. I should go through there again because I kind of want to see what the quests are. And I know there's that big battle with like Anderhall where they're like trying to take it back and rebuild it, but the Scourger's still there. And I think that's actually pretty cool. So I might try playing through there and just like actually reading the quests and looking at stuff. Yeah, I'd put it in the average for now, but I think if I played through it and I liked it a lot, I would move it up to above average because I do kind of like the aesthetic of the zone and stuff too. I just don't remember the quests that well. Then we have, what is this? The something lands, dude. I don't even know what this is. This is like I can't even read it. I'm just gonna move it down. The Shimmering Expanse. So I moved the other two the underwater zones away. Just because I wanted to, they're all kind of the same to me, to be honest. I know they each have their own quest and they all do their own thing, but I personally I clump them all together in my head. So I would actually put all the underwater zones, like the Shimmering Expanse, in the average category. And I think it's because, and that's actually interesting, because I thought I'd put it in the below average, but when I think about it, I do think there's some fun quests and interesting stuff all over the place. And I feel like for a while, I actually enjoy questing there. And then it hits a point where I'm like, this kind of sucks. Like, I hate moving around underwater. I'm just like, I don't know, man, this is whatever. But for a while I do enjoy it, which is why I'm putting it in the average category. And I think if I went back and even redid all those quests, I'd be like, dude, this is pretty cool. And then I would hit a point where I'm like, actually, I'm tired of this. And I think that just makes me put it in average. Mount Hyjal. I don't know why, but I'm going to put it in average. It's one of those places where there's some stuff that I like there. But like whenever I go there, whenever I've tried the quest there, I'm not a fan. And I'm trying to figure out why. I think it's just I don't really care about a lot of the stuff there. There's like fire elementals. There's like nature getting destroyed. There's like the harpies. There's I don't know, like it never really hooked me in. Like whenever I'd go to Hyjal, I'd just be like, eh. And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. I feel like there's got to be other people that feel that way, right? Because for some reason, when I think of Mount Hyjal, I think that people really like it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of people don't like it. But I've always just been like, it's okay. And I've quested through there a couple times, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels okay. Deep Home. Deep Home's another one where I'm like, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's all right. Uldum, however, I would put in the above average. Hold on. I'm just navigating this giant ass list now. I would put Uldum in the above average. I really do enjoy questing through Uldum. I think there's some cool quests there. I love the aesthetic of it. There's like the pygmies. There's all the Egyptian themed stuff. Harrison Jones shows up again, which I think is fun. What else is there? There's the like cat people. I don't even remember what they're called. I think they're cool. Yeah, I do genuinely enjoy Uldum. I always love questing there, so I'd put that in the above average. Twilight Highlands. I'd put it in below average. I'm not gonna lie. Like one of my least favorite things is when I go to the Twilight Highlands and I can't like do anything there because I haven't done the quest there or whatever. And I only ever did the quest there once. And that was a long time ago. So this could be something where if I did it again, maybe I'd appreciate it more. Maybe it's just like one of those things where I had my opinion back then and I still hold it true today. But if I do it again, then I'm going to completely change it, right? And maybe I do just need to do that, right? I just need to do some Twilight Highlands again and kind of play through the zone. Because there's stuff I like in the zone. I think the zone itself is cool. Like if I was ranking this based on zones, I would probably put it higher. But in terms of fun, like there's baby griffins, the houses look cool with the Hammerfall dwarves or whatever they're called. But I don't know, just like the fun levels, like, maybe if I play through again. Tol Barad. I would put Tol Barad in the below average. There's like a few times I played Tol Barad and I was like, this is neat. But like, I wouldn't say it's not fun, but it was nowhere near Wintergrasp fun. And I'm trying to remember why. I think I repressed a lot of my Tol Barad memories. But I remember just playing through it and being like, this is kind of cool. And then after a while, just being like, I miss Wintergrasp, and this is just kind of whatever. And I don't know if it's just the theming of it or the aesthetic or the way they did the questing there or something, but yeah, I don't know. Tol Barad just, it didn't hit. It didn't hit the same. Dark Moon Island. I'd put Dark Moon Island in the above average. I think it's fun that they got all the different rides. You know, it's like you're at the carnival, and there are times where I get a little nostalgic for the old Dark Moon Fair and Classic where they'd set up outside of a city, because I always thought that was really cool. But at the same time, the actual Dark Moon Island, it just has so much more to do. You have the big tents, like it's got that creepy vibe with the like ghosts of old workers and stuff walking around. Like, I think Dark Moon Island's really cool. I do wish they'd like keep adding more to it, and they have, but I wish they'd like continue doing that, I guess, in like a more frequent basis, because I love the Dark Moon Island. I wish they added more stuff like Dark Moon Island, to be honest, where like it would just happen a week out of the month, or maybe a couple days out of the month every month, because we get a lot of holidays and stuff like that, right, that happen in once a year, or you know, whatever. But we only have like Dark Moon Fair 1 week out of the month, and then I think that's like the only reoccurring big event. Like, I wish they would do more stuff like that, because I think it's pretty cool, and it's something to look forward to. It's something to like save up currency for and stuff. So yeah, I wish they would do more things like the Dark Moon Island. Wandering Isle, I like don't remember questing there enough, but it is a turtle. I'll put it in the average. Like, I think it's okay. Yeah, I'd put it in the okay. I mean, the fact that it's a turtle, I think, is keeping it on the average, because then you're always like, dude, I'm questing on a turtle. And I think that's cool. Jade Forest. Jade Forest, I'd say it's above average. Hold on. I like Jade Forest. You have like the Hosen, you got the Jinyu. For most people, it's kind of like the intro to Mr. Pandaria, where you start at. I don't know, I said for most people, like it is it is the place you start at. Yeah, I always enjoyed Jade Forest. I think the story and the quests are fun there. I'm trying to think if there's anything I don't like. I mean, there's some things here and there that I don't like. And that, I don't know, for some reason it doesn't hit the same as some of these very fun zones. Like, I don't finish Jade Forest and go, I want to do that again. But I enjoy questing through the Jade Forest when I do quest there. So I would say, I'd say it's above average. Then we have the Krasarong Wilds. And that one, I think I'd actually put into just average. There's some parts of Krasarong I like the one little area with all the fishing people. Which, you know, I guess every zone in Pandaria's actually got some fishing people, but I like that. There's the Red Crane Temple or whatever it's called. It's pretty cool there. There's some interesting parts to Krasarong Wilds. The turtle place, where it's like, this is where the panda guy landed with his turtles, or the turtle, I don't even remember. It's just like, I know there's turtles. And, you know, it's okay. I think that's what it is. It's okay. Valley of the Four Winds, however, that's a very fun. Love Valley of the Four Winds. Pretty much everywhere I go in that zone, I'm having a great time, and I don't mind doing it again once I finish it. Like, I love Valley of the Four Winds. Very fun. Great time. The Veiled Stair. I mean, I don't even know why some of these are on this list. This is one I could have just put to the unranked stuff. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. Kunlai Summit. That's got to go up to very fun. Love me some Kunlai Summit. The Grummels. What's your lucky do? There. I mean, and honestly, there's plenty more quests. Like the Yaks. They got the Yak Wash quest, which is a lot of fun. It's interesting how many different things there are. Like the Shaw of Anger's there. You have like the Temple of the Tiger or whatever. The White Tiger in the northeast. Then you have like all the Yaks and the like Yongal are invading in the northwest and the south. It's a lot of interesting stuff kind of blended together. Like, and then you have the Hosen stuff there as well. They're like flying around. I love Kunlai Summit. I think it's really cool. It's really interesting. Always love questing there. Townlong Steps. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and just Townlong Steps, I would say, is average. Nothing really makes me want to quest there, but I don't hate it. And then Dread Waste, I think, is also kind of average. Like, those are the two ones that I'm just like, Dreadwaste also does have another cool little fishing area. That's where I've done some pointless top 10 stuff. There's that guy carrying a big fish. There's some funny little things going on there, but for the most part, like, these two zones are just kind of whatever to me. But I wouldn't put them in below average. I still think, well, you know what? They're pretty close. They're like borderline. I almost would put them in below average, but okay, you know what? I think I'd put Dreadwaste at the top of below average. now that I think about it, I'd put it at the top of below average. Veil of Eternal Blossoms. That one, I think I'd put an average again. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big Veil of Eternal Blossoms person. There's like the old and the newer version where it gets like destroyed and stuff. It's okay. Isle of Giants. I don't know, man. Isle of Giants, I'd put it in below average. I mean, I remember going there and doing all my dinosaur bone collecting there, and like, it's okay. But like, it's all right for a time, and then I just grow to hate it. So that's why I'd put it in the below average. The Isle of Thunder, though, I'd put the Isle of Thunder in above average. I think the Isle of Thunder is pretty fun. I always enjoyed going to the Isle of Thunder. It's got some interesting quests, some cool aesthetic there. Yeah, I like the Isle of Thunder. The Timeless Isle, I'd put the Timeless Isle in the above average as well. I think the Timeless Isle, you might even say it's timeless. It's actually not timeless. A lot of stuff's outdated. I'd put it in the above average. I think it was a great place for the time. I enjoyed questing there. I thought it's something that I think they kind of carry to this day in terms of a design philosophy, because I think Timeless Isle was kind of one of the first times they did something like that, right? So, yeah, I'd say Timeless Isle is above average. Shadowmoon Valley Draenor. I'd put that in the above average. I know I talked about how much I dislike Outland Shadowmoon Valley, but I actually really enjoy Draenor Shadowmoon Valley. I love the vibes more. I love that there's like the farms, and even like some of the parts I don't really care about with the corruption and the ogres doing magic and like the orcs and stuff like that. I'm like, it's still kind of cool. And there's some interesting mobs there that I remember. Like, I genuinely think Draenor Shadowmoon Valley is just pretty solid, to the point where I'd say it is above average. I wouldn't say it's like super above average, but I'd say it's probably on the low end of above average. All right, then we've got Frostfire Ridge. And Frostfire Ridge was a zone that I would say was below average. There's definitely some parts of Frostfire that I like, but it's one of my least favorite Draenor zones. Like, there's some parts that I think are fun, but it's also where your garrison is, which is not fun. I think actually a lot of the starting area parts of Frostfire where you like are building the garrison, I actually thought that was kind of fun. And then there's like some quests in the southwest and the eastern part that are fun with like, I remember you have to like rescue this Tauren guy from a cave, and he's like, I'll be your follower. And then the eastern part's got that big skeleton thing that like they all live inside of and stuff. That's pretty cool. But like overall, I don't know. I'm not a big Frostfire Ridge person. So yeah, I'd put it in below average. I think they could have done more to make it more fun. Gorgrond, I would actually put Gorgrond in average. I think I had a pretty good time questing through Gorgrond. I know there's a lot of people that actually really like Gorgrond and questing there, but I like a lot of the plant people stuff and like the creatures and things like that, but I'm not a big fan of the northern part with all the Iron Horde there. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay to me. I don't hate it or anything. But I don't really go like, oh boy, Gorgrond, which, I think I'd put it in the average for that. Then we have Talador. And Talidor's another one that I just don't really like it. I think it looks nice. Like, I would rank it higher if this was based on, you know, just like how the zones look, you know? Like, I'd live in Talidor. I think it's kind of, although there's some stuff like the places burning and places getting attacked, so that's probably not the greatest place to live. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot of, like, corrupted areas. I know there's, like, a lot of demons you have to fight. I'm trying to think if there's like anything I think there is one part of Talidor where you have the Khadgar quest where you visit him in that tower. I really like that one, and it's kind of like Zanger Marsh-esque. That was pretty cool. But aside from that, I just remember I wanted to go into Shatrath so bad, and then you can't even go inside. It's like it's a dungeon or whatever, and I don't know. I thought that was dumb too, because like I was looking forward to being like, dude, like Draenor Shatrath, this is gonna be awesome, and then it's kind of whatever. So yeah, Spires of Iraq, however you say it. I actually enjoyed Spires of Iraq to the point where I'm gonna go put it in above average, on the lower end of above average, but I actually did enjoy the zone. I like the goblin stuff in the south. I like all the Arakoa. I think there's some cool, like, world building there, and there's really nice areas I enjoyed questing into, like in the eastern parts. Like, really interesting areas that I thought was a lot of fun to quest in. I've actually only quested there like a couple times, though. I should level through there again. Because, yeah, I actually like it. So I'll put it in the above average. And then the Grand, I think I'm also going to put that in the above average. I don't think it's as good as Outland the Grand, but it does have a lot of cool stuff. Like it has, I mean, the Ring of Blood's still there. It's got the, I believe is that the Mancrick's wife quest thing there? I think Mancrick's wife's there, right? From like back in the day. Or it's something like that, right? I can't remember specifically, but I know there was something like that. There's a lot of callbacks, I think, too. Like there's that the lady that like she like takes all the babies or whatever, like you fight her. It's like Chell, I think her name is, right? I've done some pointless top 10s about her, but you fight her and see her story there. There's the ogres, the Highmaul ogres, and there's the big Oshugan spaceship area, and there's like the ghosts floating around with that quest and stuff. I think it's a pretty fun zone, honestly. It's not, again, I don't think it's very fun, but I'd say it's above average. I like it. Ashran. Ashran was okay. I'd put it below average. I mean, it was kind of just like PvP, but you know what? It was better than Tol Barad. Yeah, I'll give it that, but that's not saying much. In fact, where did oh, there's Tol Barad. I'll put it like up there. Let's see. Then we have the Tannin Jungle. And I put the Tannin Jungle at average. I actually like the quest with the cat people. I always thought that was fun. A lot of little like world boss stuff that's all around is pretty neat, I think. The actual I guess you start the main quest for Draenor in the Tannin Jungle technically. And I always thought that was a cool quest, so I mean that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd put it there because there's also just like I don't know, I'm not a big fan of just like the areas that just have demons and like that's it. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of demons in the Tannin Jungle as well. I would just say it's average. Azuna, we're on the Legion. I actually like the Azuna quite a bit. You got Murlocs, you got the Naga there. I'd put it in the above average. Trying to think what else is there. There's a lot of like secret questing stuff there as well. Some of these Legion ones I'm more aware of because we did Legion Remix. So yeah, Azuna I thought was cool. Val'sharah, I I would actually put Val'sharah in very fun. I actually like Val'sharah a lot. I really love the nature stuff. You got the Furbolgs are there. There's some like weird corruption stuff going on with the Dryads. Let's see what else was there. There's squirrels. They got that the squirrel quest. I always thought that was pretty fun. They got some Gilneas stuff around too, which is all right. Yeah, I think Val'sharah is really a really fun zone. I would put it up there. You got the Druid Order Hall. High Mountain. High Mountain is one that I'd put in above average. Part of me thought it'd be very fun, but yeah, I don't know. It's just there's something about, I think maybe the having to traverse it's kind of annoying because there's like so many different mountains. I get kind of lost easily there. Although there are kobolds, there's all those the kobolds with the candles, and there's the High Mountain Taran, and like I love a lot of the quests there. The I can't remember what they're called. The like I want to say Brule. They're not Brule. Oh my god, what are they called? Drogbar, dude. The Drogbar. I can't believe I couldn't think of Drogbar. And then there's like all the Ettins and stuff as well. And there's some interesting quests involving all of them. Yeah, I think High Mountain's pretty solid. Again, I wouldn't say it's in the very fun, but I'd say it's definitely like higher up in the above average. Stormheim, I actually would put. It's either above average or very fun. You know what? I'd put it. I think Stormheim is very fun. I can think of like a lot of different quests in Stormheim that I really enjoyed. There's also that one where you gotta like go up to the tower. There's a lot of like going into the halls of various, I don't know, caves or whatever it is. There's like the dragon quest with that right by that fort. There's all the like Odin stuff. There's like the shipwrecks on the west coast. There's a lot of fun stuff in Stormheim, and I really like the zone in general. So yeah, I'd put it in the very fun category. Helheim. I'm not even gonna rank. I'm not gonna rank Helheim. I don't even count that as a zone. I have Azshara. Is that even a zone? I mean, I guess. Whatever. It's. I'm not gonna rank that either. Suramar. All right. Suramar. I'd put it above average. I know some people are definitely very fun for Suramar, but I always liked going to Suramar more than questing in Suramar. And I don't know why. I was never a big fan of doing all the like mana drug elf stuff. But I like a lot of the quests surrounding Suramar. There's still some fun quests in Suramar. Like I don't hate it or anything, and it's definitely above average, but I just wouldn't put it in the very fun. The Broken Shore. So I actually I forgot the Broken Shore was even a zone. I don't really care about the Broken Shore. I'd put it in below average. It's kind of like a whatever. Like to me, that's just where Dalaran is. And I guess I just played through it on Warcraft 3 a bit, or I'm still playing through the Broken Shore, but that's one of those things where it's more so like a lore zone for me, and then the Dalaran hub, like I don't really care that much about actually questing there. Although there is that one secret quest with that orc guy that I thought was cool. Cataclysm Wetlands. I don't even know why I thought I moved it down far enough. I mean, you know, it's the same as normal wetlands to me. I don't really know. Eridath. I moved the other two Legion zones down, and I'm using Eridath as a combination for all the Legion zone thing. What's it called? Argus. All the Argus zones. I'd put them in average to below average. I really am not a fan of like the space demon stuff. And I didn't like not being able to fly in those zones. Like there's certain zones where I'm like, hey, you know what? I can't fly here, whatever. But that not being able to fly in those zones was annoying. Because like there's so many annoying mobs. I'm not a big fan of the demon stuff. I don't mind it here and there, but just like having it be the full focus, I'm just like, I just didn't care. I'm not gonna lie. There's still some stuff that's like all right there, so like I don't know. Then we have Zuldazar. And Zuldazar, to me, I mean, it's just a matter of, is it above average or very fun? And you know what? I put it in very fun. I think Zuldazar is a fantastic zone. I mean, you have the dinosaurs. There's that one area. It's essentially is Jurassic Park. You have the Tortolan. There's a lot of fun Tortolan quests. There's the turtle made it to the water. There's the actual like hub city of Zuldazar or Dazaralor, and that's got a lot of fun stuff there. I'd put Zuldazar at very fun. I think it's a fantastic zone. I like a lot of the BFA zones though. Nazmir, I would put Nazmir at above average. I think it's in the higher above average. I don't think it's very fun, but I like playing through it when I go through it. But whenever I finish it, I'm not like, oh man, I want to do Nazmir again. But I would do Zuldazar again. So yeah, I'd say it's above average. Vol'dun? I think Vol'dun is... Oh man, it's either above average or very fun. I think, you know what? I think Vol'dun's very fun. I think it's on the lower end of very fun, but I actually really like Vol'dun. There's that pirate quest with the trolls. I really like that quest. There's like the coyote roadrunner running around, which I think is funny. There's I think the Volparen quests are pretty fun as well. There's that I think some of the troll gods are also there, like the shrines to gods. And I thought those were pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I think Vol'dun is a pretty fun zone. So I'd put it up there. Tiergard Sound. To me, Tiergard is kind of like above average on the lower end. Like it's like decent. Like I like Tiergard, but and I think it's better than a lot of the average zones, but like barely. Like it's got Borealis, which is cool, and there's some fun quests there. Especially I like the ones in the mountains, but yeah, I'd say above average, but like on the low end. Drustvar, however, I'd say Drustvar is very fun. I love Drustvar, fantastic zone. I genuinely think the whole zone is just fun. Just really cool lore stuff, really fun quests, really cool atmosphere. Like Drustvar it's fantastic zone. Stormsong Valley, again, I would put Stormsong Valley also in very fun. I really like Stormsong Valley, but I'm also a sucker for, you know, like the Stranglethorn, the Grand, Feralis, like Valley of the Four Winds, right? Like the Val'sharah. I really love the very green, vibrant zones. And Stormsong Valley is just like a beautiful zone. A lot of cool quests there. There's Quilboar, which I always like. There's like the crazy Alliance Horde stuff going on, which I think is kind of fun. There's some what's it called? The bees. There's the bee quests with all the honey, which I think are really cool. And then there's like all the weird Kraken themed stuff with the whatever they're called. Like I think it's a really fun zone. I like it a lot. Arathi Highlands Battle for Azeroth. You know what? I put that in the above average. I actually really like what they did to Arathi Highlands in BFA. And I had a good time going there. I always enjoyed going there. I think it's pretty fun. But Darkshore, on the other hand, I would say is just average. Darkshore, whenever I'd go there, I was kind of like, you know, it's okay. It kind of just felt like an updated version of the Cataclysmed Darkshore, which I already had a lesser view on, you know what I mean? So, like, I do think it's better than the Cataclysm Darkshore a bit, but, like, not by that much. It'd probably be, like, right there or something next to it. Move that. I've, like, stopped even organizing some of these. This is all over the place. There's so many zones, man. This video is gonna be like an hour and a half. Then we have Mechagon. And here's the thing. So many people hate Mechagon, but genuinely, I had a decent time there. I'd put it in the lower end of above average. Like, I had a good time. I always enjoyed going to Mechagon, doing the dailies there. It was one of my favorite, like, little zones that they add in patches. Like, I don't know why. Like, a lot of times, there's even a lot of parts of Mechagon where I'm like, this isn't very fun or not great. But, like, there were so many areas where I did have a lot of fun in Mechagon. And, I don't know. I just like it. And I know some people hate it, but I don't know. I don't know why, really. Nazjatar. Nazjatar, I'm going to put into the average. It's kind of a weird zone because I think initially with Nazjatar, I'd put it in the below average because I hate navigating it. And there's some, like, not fun stuff. But then once I'm able to fly in Nazjatar, and I got flying, then I thought it was pretty fun. Like, being able to fly just put it in the above average to me. So I think those two balanced out. I'd put it in average. Then we have Exile's Reach, which I would say... I'd say it's above average. And I'd say it's, like, on the higher end of above average. Like, up there or something. Like, I think they did a really good job with Exile's Reach. Now, the problem is the rest of the leveling experience. But I think it's really, especially if you're playing through it for the first time, I think it's a really cool, fun starter zone. Bastion. I thought Bastion was okay. Like, there's some parts. I like the owl people. I like doing a lot of those quests. There's some other quests I like, but, like, for the most part, it's at, like, the bottom of average. Like, I think it looks beautiful, but if the owl people weren't there, I'd probably hate it. I'm not gonna lie. Maldraxxus, I'd also put that in average. Like, there's some cool stuff in Maldraxxus, and there's some okay quests. And I love the Amphitheater of Anguish. But I never really was like, oh boy, Maldraxxus. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this will be all right. So I'd put that in the average. Ardenweld, though, I would put in above average. I really do like Ardenweld. I think it's a fun zone. I even like how there's parts of it where it's, like, kind of dying off, and there's all the bugs crawling around, and there's, like, some quest to, you know, involving the bug dead areas. And there's, like, those weird ghost thing, or, like, the one thing where you have to, like, go through the maze, that whole area. There's the whole, like, amphitheater for the Ardenweld stuff. Or, like, the big stage. I don't remember if it's an amphitheater or a stage, whatever. But yeah, I'd say it's above average. I would say it's, like, on the lower end of above average, but I think it's pretty fun. Revendreth. That's another one where I'd put it in the above average. It's not really my aesthetic. It's not really my thing, but I think there's a lot of cool quests, and the zone... I mean, it is, I think, a pretty cool zone still. It's just not my type of thing, but I had fun when I leveled in Revendreth, so I would put it in the above average. The Maw is not fun. It may be one of the least fun experiences of all time. The Forbidden Reach... Honestly, I didn't like the Forbidden Reach. I would put it in not fun. There's, like, some stuff there was all right, and then that was about it. I did not really like the Forbidden Reach. The Waking Shores, however, I would put the Waking Shores in above average. I really do like the Waking Shores. Honestly, I like a lot of the Dragonflight zones. Like, I think Waking Shores was a lot of fun. I'd put the Onaran Plains in above average. In fact, I'd put them in, like, the higher end of above average, like up here. Like, I really enjoyed the Dragonflight zones. Azure Span, I would put in very fun. Not only that, but obviously there's some fantastic NPCs in that zone. Just, like, some really cool NPCs. Just so many cool ones. Azure Span is just, like, big Grizzly Hills to me, man. Like, I love Azure Span. Such a great zone. The Tuskar there. I love doing all the Tuskar quests, the Gnolls, the Furbolgs. It has so many cool races there and so many fun quests. I love, and even just doing the Tuskar quest in general. Some of my favorite quests in Dragonflight were doing the Tuskar quests. Just great stuff. I would say that the what's it called, Thaldraszus or whatever, that was like okay. Most of my memories from Thaldraszus are either being in the Dragonflight capital city of Eldraken, or just doing like the time rift stuff like nearby. You know what I mean? Like everything else is kind of, I don't know. So I just put it there. I think it was okay. That was probably my least favorite one. Zaralek Cavern. I would put Zaralek Cavern at the bottom of above average, because I did have a good time questing in Zaralek. I think I just like the mole people as well, to be honest. And I enjoyed my questing there, but again, I think that's one of those things where I enjoyed it, and then I was like, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dude, Emerald Dream, hear me out. I love the Emerald Dream. I'd put it in very fun. I genuinely love the Emerald Dream patch. I think it was a fantastic patch. I love doing my dailies in the Emerald Dream. I love helping the big ancients there. There's some stuff where it was like, what, I'd put it at the lower end of very fun, but like I still had a blast playing it. I love the Emerald Dream. I thought it was a lot of fun. Isle of Dorn. I think I'd put it in above average. I like the Isle of Dorn, but not enough to be like, that was a great time. Like, it was solid. I thought Isle of Dorn was a solid zone. Some pretty fun quests. Some pretty serious quests with the one with like Alzheimer's and stuff, but I mean, that's the type of stuff that's really cool. I love when they do stuff like that. They actually make quests that make you feel stuff instead of just being like, hey guys, Sylvanas shot an arrow through a portal again. You know? The Ringing Deeps, dude, give me some above average Ringing Deeps. Love the Kobold stuff there. I love they had the King Arthur quest that was a lot of fun in the Ringing Deeps. Some of the other stuff there was like whatever. Like I mainly just remember the Kobold stuff and like some other things here and there, but I put it at the bottom end of above average. I still thought it was a pretty fun experience. There's like the Goblin stuff in the south, which I thought is fun too. Hallowfall. I put Hallowfall in the lower end of above average as well. I really enjoyed Hallowfall at the beginning and doing a lot of those Hallowfall quests, and then it kind of just fell off for me, and I was like, whatever. But I do think it was like an above average zone for a while, and I still think it's pretty fun. So I would keep it in the above average category. Ajkahet, I didn't really like that much, but I didn't hate it. I think that's an average for me. It kind of felt like the Thaldraszus of the War Within. Like I didn't hate it, but it was okay. Yeah, it definitely is average for me. The Siren Isle was below average. I liked it a little bit at the start, and then I just didn't care at all. Undermine, that's a very fun. Undermine is 100% very fun. I love Undermine. One of my favorite patches they've ever done. I love the aesthetic. I love the quest. I love all the goofiness of the goblins and all the goblin things you could do there. Just phenomenal patch. I love Undermine. I would put it like up there. And just a really well-designed zone as well, to be honest. And then the last real one we have here that I care about is Koresh. And I would put Koresh in the... I'd probably just put in below average. I didn't really care that much about Koresh. I thought I'd like it more because it was kind of like a... what's it called? Netherstorm. So I thought it'd be like... I mean, it kind of was Netherstorm, but I'm already not a big Netherstorm fan. Maybe that's why I didn't like it that much. But, you know, it was... I thought... you know what? I'll put it in average. I think it was average. The more I think about it, I'm like, I didn't, like, hate it. I wasn't like, oh, man. Like, I still enjoyed questing there a bit. So, yeah, I'd put it in the average. And then I'll just pretend for WoW Midnight, I'd put Zulamon and Eversong Forest in above average. And then I'd put Harandar in average. And then I'd put the void one in below average because I really don't care. If anything, I like that less than Koresh. I'm not even gonna lie. I would put that one in below average. And then I guess we'll see with the new expansion or the new patch with like all the new zones for that. So, whoo, oh my god, what a honker of a video. There we go. Which zones do I find fun and not fun? Let me know down in the comments section below those zones that you agree, disagree, what you find fun and not fun. I think it's fun to read whether you find things fun or not fun. So thanks for watching. I'll put some more tier list up on the screen if you want to see those. And yeah. Okay. See ya.